Well, hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Ask Audrey. You're probably saying, "Ooh, Audrey, this is fancy." I know. I'm trying out new products, and usually a lot of people are like, "Oh, what are you doing?" So right now I'm using Wave. We'll see how it goes. As you can tell, I'm like still kind of figuring things out. But no matter what, we're here. So today's topic is basically what's next, a teacher story. So I really want to talk to either the teachers or former teachers and just really just want to get people out there and really get them attentive. So taking a look right here. One I keep going to, and I know it's always that rabbit hole. Everyone has that rabbit hole of Facebook. And you're doing things, you're scrolling, and I think because of the business that I'm in, I always get involved or get introduced to other teacher groups, and I'm like, all right, cool, let's see what other people are doing, just so you make sure you're staying in the know. But then I keep seeing this thing every single solitary time, and I always stop and I always put a post in each and every time I see it. There is too many times that people say that they're just teachers. You're not just a teacher. I know society may see you as just a teacher, but half the things, if not more than, would not be in existence without someone actually taking the bold step to try something to see if it will work. And if it does work, be able to preach it to the masses. It's not an easy task. It's not an easy task to basically be able to round up between 20, in my case, I had 40 students all together, and to be able to instruct and to break concepts down that may entertain them or may not. When you're dealing with a classroom with different personalities, different abilities, different disabilities, different just ways of living, even at the rightful age of like 4, that is a skill set. So when I keep seeing people saying, "Oh, I'm just a teacher and now I don't know what I want to do." What do you mean? You basically have changed people's lives. You have given people a lot of inspiration. You have opened up so many different worlds, all by the power of a glue gun. Think about all the decorations that you put together. I remember working at a local school, and we would put dances, proms, graduations, inaugurations, any type of Asian that we had to put into it. We were able to put things together. It almost looks like it costs like $20,000. If that means one person is doing like paper mache, another person is getting lights, another person is like getting ideas, another person is looking for sales, another person is getting food. If all of a sudden we're like, we need to do something for the kids and we need to make it look nice, boom, the very next day, you got things hanging, you got lights, you got people dancing in the corners like we're in a club. And we put that together in a matter of minutes. And it looks like it's been professionally done. We got a person baking. But one thing we just often want to know is teachers, we can do anything. We wear so many hats. Just because I'm no longer in the classroom doesn't mean that all of a sudden I'm no longer a teacher. A teacher is a person that instructs, that inspires. I still do that, even as a tutor. I still have to wear multiple hats. And now I'm venturing into a world that I didn't or I wasn't prepared for. Being an entrepreneur, I'm not even there yet. In my mind, I'm not there yet. Yes, I did write in a book. I wrote a chapter in a book, so now that makes me an author. I still don't feel like an author. I'm doing a podcast, 2 of them, and I still don't feel like I'm a influencer. I'm starting a business not only to tutor, but now I'm teaching other people how to tutor. But now I have to worry about marketing. Now I have to worry about different forms of technology, exhibit A. Now I have to worry about what kind of equipment I need, and I need to understand my budget. More things that I had to do when I was in the classroom. So when you hear, oh, well, I don't know what I want to do as an educator because I'm just a teacher, you wear multiple hats. So I'm going to share with you a couple tips that I basically give every time I hear this. Where do I go? What do I do? What happens, Audrey, that I applied to 50 different jobs and I haven't heard anything from anyone? Depending on how old you are, let's be real, a lot of people do not want to hire a 57-year-old for a stocking job. No, they're worrying about your liability. They think that you're a liability. Let's be real. They don't want to hire a 65-year-old that's going to be doing all kinds of powers and instead of just coming in and sitting and listening, you're going to want to put your 2 cents into things. You're going to say, you know what, this is cute, but you can expand your business. And now you're trying to take over someone else's business. They're not going to hire you because they like to say this famous words: you have too much experience. But inside, you're saying, well, what do you mean? I'm just a teacher. I need for you to fix that. Okay. I need for you to seriously fix that. So, besides teaching, let me see if I can get this up here. You're always going to be asking yourself, what can I do besides teaching? Or what can I do after teaching, after being in the classroom? And like, what are my next steps? And I keep seeing these questions over and over and over again. And people want real answers. And one thing that I keep seeing popping up is, oh, you can just tutor. Getting all choked up. Oh, you can just tutor. Stop thinking that tutoring is easy. The act of tutoring, especially you've been teaching for a long time, yeah, you can definitely get that. But tutoring is not a dumbed down experience. You still have to work. And it's not going to happen instantaneously. And a lot of people, when it doesn't happen automatically, they automatically want to just shut down. Prime example, I saw this one gentleman that said, I posted to 50 different job applications, didn't hear from one. Now I'm just going to go back to the classroom. Why are you giving up? You're telling your kids not to give up. You're telling your colleagues when they have a bad day, hey, don't give up. Let me know what you need. But you're so quick to give up on yourself. Why? And all these questions that I ask you guys, the same thing I asked for myself. Like, there's times I wanted to quit because when it was time for me to leave, I feel like it wasn't me saying that. It was something that was forcing me out. There was like, Audrey, this is not it. You're done. Your blood pressure is high. You're having episodes. You're having panic attacks. You mentally are not in a good place. You're done. And as soon as you say that to the official to say that I am not coming back again, all of a sudden you start feeling better. Huh. It's not a quinky dink, guys. It really isn't. But if you are thinking and you want to get an idea of your next steps, make sure you have something to write with. I'll wait. Okay. If you want to pause the live, whatever, I'll wait because you want to write these things down. Because that's the main thing. If you know Habakkuk 2, verse 2, write down and make it plain on tablets so that the herald may run with it. And it's not going to happen overnight. But in order for you to figure out what your next steps is not to type it into a Facebook group. And I'm so sorry for all the Facebook groups out there, including mine. Don't just tap it in there just so you can get some likes. You're like, oh, look at all the likes. Yeah, congratulations. If you seriously want an answer, you need to sit down and you need to write down. And you're probably going to say, well, what am I writing down? Well, here you go. Write down all the aspects of teaching that you learned. Okay. How many years? It doesn't matter. You could have been a teacher for 1 year and just say, you know what? This was not in the job application process. And I get it. Or you can be like me, that was like 18 years, or you could be just about to retire. And everyone keeps looking for jobs. They're not jobs, they're occupations. Job is like filing, job is like creating a document. That's a job, that's something that you do. An occupation is what it is: being a nurse, being a doctor, being a teacher. Now, career, that's something that you do it long term. So, like if you're just a short time sub, that's an occupation. But if you're a long time teacher, professor, that's a career. So, we got to get our terminology straight. That's one. So, then the next thing, I know I got a lot of ones today. So, then the next thing is we need to write down all those aspects of teaching that you had in your career, like all the things that you created. Okay, you did your lesson plan, you know how to break down concept, you know how to break down activities that's based off of kids interests, you know how to create a PowerPoint, you know how to organize an Excel sheet, you know how, whatever it is, write it all down. And then go through with a highlighter. What are the ones that you know I can do right here, right now, with my eyes closed? Not even problem. Everyone always praises me about how organized my classroom is, the different devices that I use. Okay. And then you take a look, take that list, take the look at the highlighted stuff and compare it to some current careers that's out there and to see if you're going to be a good fit. Don't just go by what their description is, because their description is always going to be general. And then when you get into the interview, then they get a little more precise. If you ever notice that, all of a sudden, like, oh, that wasn't in the listing. Oh, well, I would have never gone after this job if I knew it was like that. So they're going to try to make it as general as possible to get people in. And then when they do the interviews, that's when they start filtering it down. Okay. So write down every aspect that you did as a teacher. Were you a leader? How were you a leader? Did you do activities? What were those things that you did with the activities to help construct it? Once you do that and you notice there is no career out there whatsoever, guess what? Tip number 2, create your own. Because you have to stop and think. A lot of these careers that are out here didn't just magically appear. It's not like in the beginning of time it says, and then there was light, and then there was a career of being a teacher. Like, maybe, not in a way, but no. Okay. All that was formed. Everyone saw that there was a need, and they took that need and they said, you know what? Let me make this into a business. Let me see if people are interested in paying for this. Trust me, if it is a supply that's going to meet a demand, people are going to pay for it. But you can't step into a business saying, well, I was just a teacher and this is my first time doing it. So I'm going to do it really cheap. And no, because I had a conversation with a young lady yesterday, and she was just like, I'm just really curious about your first year, And I told her, I was like, my first year was terrible, awful. I mean, I was excited like everyone else, but no one really took the time when I was going through everything. Like, everyone's like, well, Audrey, you never asked. And I'm like, but there's times like I don't know how to ask that question. Like, for a prime example, like when I was going through it, I wish that doctors will actually take a moment to ask this one question, and they will know so much about that person. Ask them what they do for a job, for an occupation. See, I keep doing it too. So, what do you do for an occupation? Every time I go in there, they want to give me blood pressure medication, right? And I'm like, what does blood pressure medication do? It makes you pee. What is something that teachers can't do? go pee whenever they want. So you're kind of messing up my flow here. But at the same time, if you just ask me what my occupation is, you will understand why my blood pressure is that high, because it's a very demanding job. You have to learn how to think on the go. So I had to create my own stuff. So I'm going to wrap this up. If you need to do your research now. Don't just up and leave. Don't be like a power move, like, yeah, you know what? I'm out of here. And that's it. Millie whop your way outside the room. No, 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 no. Do your research before you just start telling people where to go, how to get there, and all that stuff. Okay. Look on the internet. My friends in the beginning was Google and YouTube. And I typed in careers for former teachers, and you'll see some things. But again, if it doesn't hit that list of what you want to do, because this is the time to do what you want to do. Another person I was talking to, and she's like, "Oh, I would love to tutor." And I'm like, "Well, why don't you tutor?" And she's like, "Well, I want to be an architect." And I'm like, "So you're a teacher?" She said, "Because my parents told me to be a teacher." So her parents basically dictated her occupation, but she always wanted to be an architect. And I'm like, "Well, be an architect. Start putting designs out there. Maybe go back to school for that if you have to. Find out what you need to do in order to do that." And a lot of people will say, "Well, I need money. I need money." And I'm like, "Trust me, I understand. Money does make the world go round, but it doesn't cost money to dream. It doesn't cost a dime to sit down and just to write, even for like 15 minutes, as long as this live. And then you can get everything done." So I just really wanted to go out there and tell you that, one, if you're a teacher, any kind of occupation, you're not just that occupation. You are not just one dimensional. There's so many sides to you. There's so much talent. There's so much desire. And you need to be here because people need your gift. They need your skill. And if you feel that you can't do it by yourself, find like minded people. Keep searching, keep talking, or not you going chasing after them. Start promoting what you do. Stop being afraid. If I can sit here with a microphone and talk to you, anybody can. So it's just a matter of you going out there and creating that space. I don't know why this is up here, but here we are. So keep doing what you're doing. Keep dreaming, keep pursuing, because guess what? This world is not going to stay. It's not going to wait for you. So even the things that we do and all the things that we understand what goes on today is changing. The way that we teach is changing. The way that kids are learning is changing. And we have to change with it. It's either you stay in the norm or you make your own space. One of the two. I know. I took an admissions test because even when I had to do my admissions, I was like, "Oh, I almost forgot." And it was over Thanksgiving. And usually Thanksgiving, everything's closed. But this one's open 24 hours. All you have to do is just stick the plug into your car. You turn your car on. It does your reading. Okay, you either pass or you fail. I passed. Thank you. But that used to be someone's job. A lot of things are changing. So why not prepare for the best and jump ahead and go after what you want? Are you that supply? Are you that person that's going to hit that demand? So I want you to have a wonderful day. Just see how things are going. So far, I kind of like this wave thing. There are little tactics, there are cute little things. But a couple things that's going on. One, I got a nice little collaboration with some other tutors called Merry Mix Extravaganza. And it's a collection of people's holidays tradition from around the world. We have people from the Philippines and people from Australia. We have from England. We also have Nebraska, me in Maryland. Almost forgot where I was. So it's just a free collection of winter activities. You have puzzles, you have videos, you have people that are storytelling. And if you're interested in that, I will definitely put that link, the proper link, into the chat. And as well, I definitely want to thank you guys so much for watching. I can't believe we're at like episode 31 and 27. It's just amazing. So, the Ask Audrey is just being able here to talk to you about that. And then all the different tutors that I have been encountering throughout the past, oh no, few months. Can't believe that I'm still doing this. But also, if you're a tutor that you definitely want to have like a tutoring home, especially if you're a math tutor and you want to learn a little bit of the tips and tricks of tutoring, go ahead and reach out to me. I'm in Facebook called From the Classroom to Online Tutoring. It's a virtual community. Sometimes I go live in there as of right now. And also, you learn some tricks and tips and everything just to how to get yourself started with tutoring. I really want you to be successful. So, you ask a question, I'm going to answer it. Okay. So, we'll see and we'll take it from there. So stay tuned for our recording, which I'm going to have to leave here to get myself ready before I know I was like have Elaine all of a sudden getting choked up. I'm just so emotional today. Elaine Lengard from Emerald Education, she's going to come on and we're going to sit and talk about tutoring and just her venture and her journey from start to finish and just to see what are her upcoming events that's going on as well. So hopefully you kind of like this. If this is a little too cartoonish, just let me know. Put it in the chat. Like, oh, that was cute, Audrey, but put it back to the other one. But if you're like, this live stream wasn't that bad. So we'll see how it goes. All right, guys, take care and please remember to always stay awesome.